Hey guys, Inferno here today and bringing you another review. Who would have believed it? But I'm going to try to stay consistent with it. This time it's for Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I know a lot of people are interested in, I should say. So mainly this review, I'll just be going over story, gameplay, performance, and like my final thoughts on whether you should buy it or not. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the story for this game revolves around us being sent to an earlier version of Sinnoh region, which is called the Hisui region. And this is at a time before people and Pokemon coexisted together, meaning most people here in this time are basically still wary of Pokemon, still scared of them, don't know how to like interact with them and stuff. And in our first encounter, we basically meet a professor of this time, whose name is Professor Lavington. I think I said that right. Who's asked us to help catch the 3 starters that we can choose from. That will be basically Oshawott, Cyndaquil and Rowlet. And then after that we then meet Akari, who is then part of the Survey Corps, who basically are tasked with like finding information about the Pokemon in the region so they can get like a better understanding. We also then meet Silene, who's like the captain of Team Galaxy. Now in this timeline they're not bad, they're just basically not even good, or technically they're good in this timeline anyway, but we all knows what happens in the future. And then we also have a commander at top who you meet later on in the game. So basically we report to Silene every time we say explore a different part of the region, if we've met the requirements to go up a different rank, which is explained in the game. There's 10 ranks and it takes a very long time to get to like rank 9. Rank 9 is not too bad, but rank 10 is just like no point really unless you're like 100% completist. Anyway, main goal for this game is basically to fill out the Pokédex fully, which is a first, but thank god that you can literally catch every Pokemon in this game. I'll explain that later on. And help the frenzied noble Pokemon, which you will come across the story, to basically like calm down. It's basically they've been struck by a strange lightning that's happened in the sky. Now that's all I'll say for story, as if I continue that's basically going into like heavy spoiler territory, and I know people are just going to get pissed off and be like, you can't say that and this and that, blah blah blah. So I'll just leave it for there. Overall, I'll say story was somewhat interesting, especially coming like near to the end where you start to learn about the different people you meet. There's one character that you do meet who, well, I can't really say anyway because it's spoilers, but you'll see when you play the game. You can tell by certain characters, like, actually, you know what, nah, I won't even say it. I'll just stop there. But overall, the story, I'll give it, say, a 7.5 out of 10. Not too bad, pretty decent overall. Could have been a bit better. I'll touch quickly on like the side requests and stuff that you get in the game. Some of them are somewhat interesting. Others are just like your typical go and get this one, or show me a completed entry of a certain Pokemon, which basically you have to grind out more or less. But overall, you know, for a Pokemon game, it's pretty decent. So it shows Game Freak that can actually do something decent now. Now to what most people are really onto, the gameplay. Gameplay wise, the game is interesting to say the least, and I say that in a good way. I did have some slight issues which I'll touch on later on, but overall experience, I actually enjoyed myself, which is surprising because usually Pokemon games I just pretty much go auto mode on it more or less. I just don't really care. So think of this as like an improved version of Sword and Shield with somewhat better graphics, though that's kind of debatable at this rate. Although to touch on that, I would say seeing the water from a distance, you can tell like, yeah, it's a bit bad still. The seamless transitions from fighting a Pokemon to going back to the overworld is a welcome change in my opinion. Seeing what Pokemon is out on the field, even the shiny as well, is pretty nice. The way they done it in this game, I actually liked it. It's like, okay, I don't really have to go in the grass anymore, basically hope that this is the Pokemon that I want. You know, that goes for like legendaries as well. I'll touch on that one later. Hopefully this is basically the standard for encountering Pokemon in the wild for like future Pokemon games, because the whole going into the grass and hoping for, that's the Pokemon I want or something, it's, I would say, slightly outdated now. With the Switch's hardware, which is a bit of a stretch out sometimes, they should be able to do this consistently, given if they have enough time and not rush the whole game. Now, even when you're seeing different Pokemon on the field, you can actually see which one's even bigger sometimes. So, for example, there was a side quest where you had to catch a Weasel that was roughly, I think, 248 or bigger. And yeah, you can obviously check your Pokédex entry and stuff, or not an entry, sorry, but like the Pokemon summary. But even on the field, sometimes you can see if there's like a spot of like a group of them, you can actually see which one's actually bigger than usual. Now, even to talk about the sizes of Pokemon, they've actually done a great job on it, in my opinion. So some of the Pokemon you could see like they're actually like very big compared to the player, compared to like previous game where they're like more or less, I don't know, the same size, maybe because of just hardware limitations or whatever. But here you can actually see it, and that even touches onto the alpha Pokemon that have been added into this game. So that's basically a beefed up version of the Pokemon. So say for example you see the Bidoof with red eyes and has like a slightly altered cry noise, then that's an alpha one. These ones, they definitely hit hard sometimes, I won't lie. I think Bibarel one actually like almost wiped out my team like early on in the game. I was like, oh shit, what's this bullshit, man? But those Pokemon, even when you bring them out, you can see how big they are, and there are some big Pokemon. For one, Steelix, Snorlax, Garchomp, like literally these guys are huge. And I'm like, I actually took the time and actually made them like somewhat relatively big compared to the player this time. Speaking of which, with these alphas, say for example you are fighting one and say it's just demolishing your team, you can run away and then basically heal up your Pokemon and then go right back into the fight with the alpha Pokemon's health literally where it was before. And I think that counts for all Pokemon. I never tested it on normal ones, mainly because I'll just kill them half the time or just catch them with like super luck. But yeah, that's like an easy way to cheese it. But yeah, apart from that, you can also catch Pokemon now without like engaging them. So technically you can hide in the grass and stuff, wait for them to turn their back, or if they're sleeping or something. Yeah, if you see sleeping Pokemon on the field, which is actually a nice addition as well, that actually saves some sort of time, although it doesn't always work. Sometimes they can still break out of it, and when they do break out of it, sometimes they are alerted to your presence. Some are not as alerted as others. For alpha Pokemon, they'll see you straight away if they break out, so yeah, good luck on that one. It can work on them, but you need some luck on that part. Although sometimes they don't see you, so if they do see you, they either attack or they'll run away, depending on like what type of Pokemon it is. So for example, Starly, if it breaks out and it sees you and it's alerted to your presence, it's like, nah, I'm not going to challenge you, I'm going to run away. However, Staravia will see you and like come to attack you and basically like make you faint in the game. Now, traversing in this game is not too bad. Okay, at the beginning it's a bit sluggish considering you don't have infinite sprint, which is like kind of realistic for a boy of like 15. But later on you do get your first mount, which is a Widear, and you can basically traverse the land much easier. And there are 4 more mounts in the game. Now, my experience with the mounts have been pretty good overall, although the flying mount, which is the last one you get in the game, for some reason they don't allow us to like fly freely. Basically you'll be always on the descent, especially when like you're holding the boost button down or something, which is probably like one of my dislikes of the game so far, because I said honestly I kind of like want to fly freely. It would have been much better. Maybe if they do another Pokemon game or something like this, maybe they can take that into consideration. I don't know, hopefully they will. But apart from that, all the other mounts, so you've got one for riding on the land, you got the swimming one, you got one that can help you traverse mountains, and then you got the flying one, and you also have one that allows you to seek out treasure that's like buried at like any part of the map. There's like a little indicator on it to say how far you are from it. So yeah, if you're into that whole finding treasure and stuff, which to be fair, you can find some really decent stuff, then by all means go for it. One last feature that they've added in is the space rifts, or space dimension rifts I should say. So what these do is basically they'll spawn randomly on a part of the map or that you're in pretty much. Sometimes it can be like within 5-10 minutes, sometimes it can be like up to an hour or two, or sometimes you just won't get it at all. I don't know what the spawn requirements for it, but in these ones you can actually find Pokemons that are like exclusive to it, which is slightly annoying, but at the same time I can understand why they kind of done it. And you can find like a whole heap of Pokemon in there that you wouldn't really think of finding in the wild. For example, I found a Cyndaquil, I found a Rowlet one, I found its evolution, I found Jolteon, Vaporeon, Sylveon, literally all these Pokemon that you wouldn't even think of. Like even I found a flipping, an Alpha Rhyperior in there, or a shiny float cell. Like these are the stuff that can just easily pop in there. So when you do get in there, make the most of it. You'll see a bunch of items on the floor as well, which are kind of needed as well. Some of them are actually needed for like one side quest. You can even find like evolution stones, the other items that are used for like certain Pokemon to evolve, so like the protector and stuff. And yeah, literally I think that's probably like one of the best features that are in there, but it's also annoying because I don't know how it works, or like how it spawned, because sometimes it just wouldn't spawn for me at all. Apart from that, I would say gameplay wise it's probably like one of the better ones in recent years. Could be better, but they're on the right track, at least in my opinion. So future games, hopefully they're just like this, because I actually enjoyed it more than, you know, the traditional ones that we used to get. Now there are certain changes that have happened in this game, like certain stuff have been reworked, some stuff have, you know, are a blessing in my opinion. One of them being the evolution. So in previous games, evolution is basically you hit that level and they'll just evolve automatically, which sometimes you didn't really want to do. So you always had to keep pressing B, or basically cancel it all the time, or maybe let them hold the stone. I can't remember what's called, I think it's the Everstone or something like that. I could be wrong. But in this game, basically now we can choose when to evolve them. So in the menu, you see that there's like a little icon to the right of the Pokemon. If they're ready to evolve, you can just press X and it'll ask if you want to evolve, say yes or no, and then it will just evolve right there then. Now for certain Pokemon, they obviously need items. Now all these items can be obtained in the game, which is really good. Some of them can be found through like random treasures, or if you fight an alpha Pokemon they might drop it, or if you're in the space rift some might drop there. There's a shop that you can exchange merit points for as well, which basically you find like these lost satchels in the field. If you pick them up, you can exchange it for points. You can exchange those points for the items that you need. And yeah, basically you don't need to trade anymore in a sense. So Pokemons like Kadabra and Haunter, you can use an item called the linking cable, which basically forces them to evolve into their final evolution. Golbat as well. Other Pokemon like Electabuzz, Magmar, they all have their respective ones. You just use that item and they'll just evolve straight away pretty much. So that's a nice change for me. Honestly, I don't know if they'll keep it. I don't know if people will be happy with it. Honestly, I'm happy with it because it just saves me time of trading with my friends half the time. One addition that they've also added into the game is the ability to allow us to change moves on the go. So if, for example, you learned a new move and you don't like it anymore, or you want to change to an old move, basically you just go to the menu, look at your Pokemon, press change moves on it, and then it'll come up with a list of what moves that are available to select from and which ones that you can replace it with. So it's nice. It's a nice change. I know some people might say make the game too easy and stuff, like the whole EXP share and everything, but honestly it's a nice change for like a casual player like me. I don't really have to say, oh, what move do I really want gone now? Do I want this one? Do I want that one? I can just say, okay, I can get rid of this move. If I'm not feeling it, or it's not doing what it's intended really, then I can just go and chop and change back to another move. Or if I feel like, oh, I'm coming up against a certain, I don't know, battle or something, and I have the moves on that Pokemon I want, I can easily change it, go into that battle, wreck the person, come out of it and change back to whatever I had before. So honestly, Game Freak, yeah, you done well on that one. I'll give you props for that. With all that said, now we come to the performance of the game. Now, performance wise, it was pretty good. Obviously you have your stutters here and there, which, you know, is expected of this console, which I don't really like to say because it's just an ongoing joke at this point. But Nintendo, please, you know, give us that Switch Pro. But overall, the game, playing it at 30 FPS, it wasn't bad at all. Like, it's very playable. Obviously certain areas can lag a bit, certain moves can lag a bit, it's not too noticeable. However, when facing some of the bosses in the game, I noticed that it could lag a lot when they're doing some of their moves, which basically eats up some of their inputs. So when I'm there trying to dodge half the time, sometimes it'll come like a second late or something, and I'm just like, oh great, here we go again. But overall, I would say performance wise, you know, the game ran very well for what it is. Could it be better? Well, obviously yeah, but they just got to make do with the Nintendo Switch at this point, really. So yeah, performance wise, I'll probably give it like an 8 out of 10, really. Maybe if they can patch it up or something later on, I don't know if they'll ever do that. But yeah, it's not a deal breaker. You know, it's not like other games where it just chugs like at every second or something. Now, with all that said, I guess we'll come to the conclusion. Should you buy it? Yes, you should, honestly. It's definitely one of the better Pokemon games that have come out in recent years. It's not to say the other ones were bad, but could have been better. This one, they definitely took their time with it, I can tell. Hopefully for the newer games that they maybe might release in the future, I don't know, they use some of these ideas that they've done for this game, implement it into there, maybe refine it a bit more, and honestly we should be good to go from there, really. Maybe story wise they can, I don't know, maybe one day we can get a mature Pokemon game. I'd actually like to see how that will turn out, but until that game, until that day actually comes, well, it's just speculation at all this point. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about what's new, what I can do in the game, whatever, you know, leave a comment, hit me up on Twitter, Discord if you really want to. But yeah, I'll see you guys another time.